let's take a trip back to the 1980s, when Madonna blared from the radio and teenage dreams lit up the silver screen. Amanda Peterson, blonde hair, radiant smile, stepped out of Can't Buy Me Love as a true teen icon of that decade. She was Cindy Mancini, the girl with big dreams on screen, forever etched in our minds riding that lawnmower. But behind that Hollywood glow, there was something she never shared, an unsent letter, a role she turned down, and a night in 1989 she never spoke of. How did she end up in a modest apartment in Greeley, far from the spotlight, with a death that still raises questions? Amanda's story isn't just about fame or tragedy. It's about a young woman wrestling with wounds no one could see. Maybe it's time we remember Amanda, not just as Cindy Mancini, but as a girl carrying something she never put into words. Chapter 1: The Golden Girl and a Dream, Tinged with Shadows. Greeley, Colorado, in the 1970s, was a small town with wheat fields stretching under a wide blue sky. This is where Amanda Peterson, born on July 8, 1971, grew up. She was the youngest in a middle-class family, daughter of Dr. James Peterson and homemaker Sylvia. Every evening, warm yellow light spilled from their dining room, where Sylvia served Amanda's favorite casserole, and the family gathered around the table. But Amanda, with her sparkling eyes and bright smile, always stood out. By age 7, she was dancing on local stages, captivating audiences. Her father, James, watched her with pride, but also worried, often asking, "Mandy, are you sure you want to go so far?" Amanda would just smile, hug her dog, Rusty, in the backyard, then run inside to practice lines, leaving childhood games behind. At 9, Amanda climbed onto a yellow school bus, a small suitcase in hand, leaving Greeley for Denver's airport, bound for Los Angeles to audition for Annie. The wooden door of her home slammed shut behind her, its dry creak marking a new chapter. She made it to the final round among 200 girls, and though she didn't land the lead, director John Huston gave her a small role as a dancer. The studio lights blazed. The director's cut echoed. It was her first taste of stardom. But each time she returned from LA, Amanda would pull out a little notebook, scribbling something under her desk lamp. No one knew what she wrote, and that notebook, later, vanished. The night before her third trip to LA, Amanda sat crying in her room, moonlight streaming through the window. Sylvia knocked, but Amanda only said, "I'm fine, Mom." The next morning, she flashed a bright smile at the flight attendant, as if no tears had fallen. In Hollywood, the 9-year-old was scrutinized, every inch of her face, every word she spoke. She shuttled between Greeley and LA, trying to keep one foot in school, with friends and family, while the other reached for her big dream. But the pressure came early. Amanda learned to smile for the camera, even when exhausted. James once held her hand in the backyard, saying, "You don't have to do it all, Mandy." She nodded, hugged Rusty, as if clinging to the childhood slipping away. One quiet afternoon, 10-year-old Amanda sat at her desk, staring out the window. In a small voice, she said, "I had a dream that scared me." Her teacher didn't press, but those words planted a seed of unease. Each night she returned from LA, Amanda stayed up, gazing out her window, silent. Sylvia tried to keep her close, cooking dinners under that warm yellow light. But every time Amanda left, the door's slam reminded her she was drifting from Greeley, and maybe from herself. What did that notebook hold? The one she wrote each night? And why did it disappear, as if it carried the secrets of a little girl afraid of something? Chapter 2: Cindy Mancini's Smile. hiding the pain. In 1987, 15-year-old Amanda Peterson stood under the Arizona sun, her white leather jacket fluttering in the breeze, blonde hair catching the light. She was Cindy Mancini in Can't Buy Me Love, the teen comedy that had the world cheering. The film followed Ronald Miller, a shy kid who paid $1,000 for Cindy to pretend to be his girlfriend. It grossed over $31 million, a surprise hit. Amanda and Patrick Dempsey sparked undeniable chemistry, convincing audiences a popular girl could fall for an ordinary guy. That final scene, Cindy on the lawnmower with Ronald, sunlight streaming through, became an 80s icon, plastered on posters in teens' bedrooms. Amanda graced Tiger Beat covers, her smile dazzling, but her hand always touched a silver bracelet on her wrist, like it was a talisman. Amanda brought depth to Cindy. She wasn't just the high school queen. She was smart, lonely, yearning to be loved for herself. But Hollywood wanted her to stay the girl next door with blonde hair. And listen to me, Amanda played a conflicted college student, but many of her scenes were cut. The director was blunt. Audiences don't want to see Cindy Mancini cry. She longed for complex roles, but producers only saw Cindy. A friend recalled Amanda in the makeup room, staring in the mirror, muttering, "They just want me to keep smiling." Her fingers twisted that silver bracelet, her eyes distant. One late night on the Can't Buy Me Love set, the trailer's rear lights cast a red glow on Amanda's face. Like a warning, she stood alone on the phone, the voice on the other end making her fall silent. The crew bustled around, oblivious. She gripped the bracelet, lips pressed tight, then hung up. A crew member later said she'd sit outside the trailer, quiet for hours. Once, she scribbled something on paper, tore it up, and tossed it in the trash. Sylvia, her mom, stood a few yards away in the dark, watching her daughter. But when she asked, "You okay?" Amanda just shook her head and smiled, her eyes hiding something. The pressure grew heavier. Amanda had to stay radiant, even when her heart felt heavy. A friend said she once confided during a break, "They want me to be Cindy, not Amanda." Hollywood was an endless party. Clinking glasses, fake handshakes, and gazes that chilled her. She did a few more films, but none matched Can't Buy Me Love. Each time she left a set, she touched that bracelet, as if it held a secret she couldn't voice. Was it fear or something deeper from her early Hollywood days? The 15-year-old stood at a crossroads. Cindy Mancini's glow was dazzling, but behind it, a shadow grew. A crew member recalled Amanda whispering to her mom over the phone, "There's something I can't take." Those words faded into the set's noise, but they hinted at mysteries unsolved. What did that silver bracelet hide, and why did she tear up those scraps of paper as if erasing a secret? Chapter 3: The Fateful Night, Chandeliers, and a Lost Escape. In the summer of 1989, 18-year-old Amanda Peterson stepped off a bus in Greeley, Colorado, dragging an old suitcase. She'd just finished Listen to Me, a film that left no mark. Under a blazing red sunset, she stood outside her home, twisting the silver bracelet on her wrist, the one she always touched when anxious, a keepsake from Can't Buy Me Love. Picture the scene. Rock music pulsed from speakers. Glasses clinked. Cigarette smoke swirled. Amanda, in a shimmering dress, stood among strangers. The chandelier's light caught her bracelet, glinting on her wrist. A man, exuding authority, approached and whispered something. His low voice, nearly drowned by the music, made Amanda's eyes harden. She gripped the bracelet, lips tight. The crowd laughed on, but she slipped toward the door, her dress fading into the dark. As she left, she placed the bracelet on a table, a small, deliberate act, as if shedding a piece of herself. The next morning, a high school friend said Amanda returned to Greeley without the bracelet. She looked drained, her eyes lost, like she'd left something behind. A 1989 photo, later found by a fan, was the last time that bracelet was seen, shining on her wrist in Colorado sunlight. A co-star from Listen to Me said Amanda abruptly dropped a TV role she'd signed for. She didn't explain, the co-star said, just said she needed time. Was she fleeing a crisis no one saw? The girl who dreamed of stardom stopped taking scripts. A high school friend shared a forgotten story. Amanda returned to Greeley with a suitcase of clothes but no scripts, as if erasing Hollywood from her life. She stood in her yard, staring into space, hands empty without that bracelet. A neighbor recalled Amanda muttering to herself, her voice soft as a breeze, "I can't go back." Those words dissolved into the air, but they hinted at something from that fateful night. Did Amanda glimpse Hollywood's dark side that night in 1989? A secret that made her walk away? The girl who made the world smile now withdrew, as if that chandelier's light had burned her dreams. The truth of that night remains in shadow, waiting to be uncovered. Was the bracelet she left behind a sign she was done with Hollywood, or did it hide a bigger secret? Chapter 4. The Torn Script and the Unsent Letter. In 1989, 18-year-old Amanda Peterson faced a turning point. A script arrived, a role that could have freed her from Cindy Mancini's shadow. An unverified source said it was for a major film, maybe Heather's or something similar, promising a path to mature roles. But Amanda said no. Imagine a small L.A. hotel room, neon green light flickering through thin curtains. Amanda sat on the bed's edge, the script open before her, its pages stark white under the desk lamp. The phone rang, shrill in the quiet night. She answered, listening, her fingers twisting the silver bracelet. The low voice on the line made her freeze. She hung up slowly, as if afraid to break something. Then she grabbed the script, her hands trembling, and tore it in half, the sound of ripping paper shattering the silence. The pieces fluttered to the floor, like fragments of the dream she once held. The teen idol felt trapped. A close friend said Amanda mumbled, "I can't do it, not now." Yet, days later, she smiled brightly at a Greeley gathering saying, "I'm ready to start over." Those words clashed with the torn script, as if hiding a storm inside. An unverified source claimed Amanda began writing a letter that night, on cream-colored paper, her handwriting slanted, in deep blue ink. The letter was folded, tucked into a small wooden box beside old Can't Buy Me Love photos. No one knows who it was for, a director, a friend, or herself. It stayed silent in her Greeley apartment, holding words she never sent. Amanda stopped taking scripts. A friend, voice heavy with regret, said she saw Amanda on her porch, staring at the empty street, hands bare without the bracelet. The girl who captivated the world seemed to want to vanish. A neighbor recalled Amanda muttering in her yard, "I made the biggest mistake." But what was it? Turning down the role? Or rejecting the world that made her? Hollywood turned its back, but Amanda no longer wanted to be Cindy Mancini. The unsent letter, the torn script, the missing bracelet. They were pieces of a larger mystery about a girl trying to escape something. Was that letter and torn script a sign she was fleeing Hollywood or the person she'd been? Chapter 5. The Wound Beneath the Powder and Whispers Under the Moon. On the Can't Buy Me Love set, Amanda Peterson beamed under Arizona's sun, her blonde hair glowing, eyes bright as summer. But few knew that after those scenes, she'd slip into the makeup room, lock the door, and collapse, clutching her chest. The 15-year-old, adored by millions, carried a wound no one saw. Her family later revealed that at that age, Amanda survived a sexual assault, a horrific secret that shattered her sense of safety. Sylvia, her mom, once said she was never the same after. But Amanda didn't cry. She hid a pill in her makeup powder, like part of a role she didn't choose. She pressed on. But Hollywood wouldn't let her be anyone but Cindy Mancini. The public loved her, but judged her too. Later mugshots, from drug charges and DUIs, replaced the Golden Girl on posters. A friend said Amanda sat in a Greeley diner, staring out the window, murmuring, "They only remember me as Cindy, not Amanda." Her fingers twisted the bracelet, her gaze lost. She longed to be loved, understood, but helplessness grew. One night, a neighbor heard Amanda in her yard under cold moonlight, whispering, "I can't get away from it." No one asked what it was. Was it the trauma from 15? Or a deeper secret from that 1989 night? Sylvia took her to rehab, sat with her through sober days, but darkness always pulled her back. Amanda dreamed of serious acting, but the world wanted her to smile like Cindy. A friend recalled her saying, voice trembling, "I just want them to see me." But she withdrew, living in a small apartment, far from the spotlight. The girl who moved millions felt forgotten. A neighbor saw her on her porch, staring at the sky, hands bare without the bracelet. She seemed to search for something, a chance, an escape, or the person she'd lost. The pills in her makeup couldn't ease the pain. They only pulled her deeper into shadow, where she fought alone. Was it the wound from 15, or a larger secret she carried forever? Chapter 6. The Silent Apartment and Words Left Unfinished. In 1994, 23-year-old Amanda Peterson left Hollywood, returning to Greeley for peace. She went to college, married twice, had a daughter and a son. Sylvia said she was proud of her kids, but the past always followed. Amanda worked odd jobs, office clerk, retail, but nothing lasted. She tried rehab, but chronic pain from surgery and prescriptions pulled her back into addiction. In her small Greeley apartment, she lived alone, often sitting on the porch, watching cars pass, her eyes empty. On July 3, 2015, her family couldn't reach her. They entered her apartment, the silence broken only by a metallic clink, the silver bracelet rolling off the vanity, hitting the floor. Nearby was an open pill bottle and a folded note. Amanda had passed at 43, from an overdose, including unprescribed morphine. The note's scrawled words read, "I'm sorry for everything." Sylvia stood frozen, clutching the paper. She knew Amanda wasn't apologizing for addiction, but for something she never voiced. In the apartment, they found a dusty wooden box, its corner chipped. Inside were family photos, an old "Can't Buy Me Love" poster, and a letter on pastel paper, its handwriting unfinished, no recipient named. A friend said Amanda once told her, "I want people to understand, but I don't know where to start." The room held relics, a photo of her beaming with Rusty, an old LA plane ticket. But the Amanda of those final days was a shadow of the Golden Girl. A neighbor recalled that days before, Amanda stood on her porch, gazing at the sky, whispering, I tried my best. Who was she speaking to? Her family, the world, or herself? The bracelet, pill bottle, and folded note lay silent. The final pieces of an untold story. Was "I'm sorry for everything" Amanda's message to the world, or a secret she carried to the end? Epilogue. Cindy Mancini's light and the shadow no one saw. Amanda Peterson was the teen light of Can't Buy Me Love, the golden girl on that lawnmower, teaching us true love can't be bought. For Gen X, she was a symbol of kindness, her smile melting hearts. But in that light, no one saw the shadow. Amanda lived in that shadow until the end. Sylvia once said she was ill, not a failure. Those words call us to look beyond the mugshots, to see a sensitive, intelligent woman fighting unseen wounds. She left a dual legacy. Cindy Mancini, an 80s icon, and a cautionary tale of fame's cost. Trauma at 15, pressure to be perfect, untreated bipolar disorder, all pushed her into darkness. A friend said, Amanda once admitted, "There are things I can't say." Was it about that 1989 night when she left the bracelet behind? Or the unfinished letter on pastel paper tucked in a dusty box? The bracelet was never found. Some say Amanda removed it that final night, as if, for one moment, she let herself go. The girl from Greeley, with big dreams, touched stardom, but was burned by it. Her story forces us to face Hollywood's dark side. Young stars molded into images, secrets buried, people forgotten. Amanda wasn't just Cindy Mancini. She was a girl yearning to be loved, understood, but the world didn't give her a chance to heal. The unsent letter, torn script, and note saying, "I'm sorry for everything." They're pieces of a puzzle no one solved. She made the world smile, but her smile hid tears. Amanda Peterson, the girl under Arizona's sun, left a silence no one can fully unravel.